Michael Andretti is a name synonymous within American motorsport. The son of a legend, a near-miss champion, an IndyCar icon, and a team owner who reshaped the racing landscape. His career was filled with heartbreaking second places, a controversial and unfair stint in Formula One, and a legacy that extends far beyond his own driving exploits. This is the story of Michael Andretti, the nearly man who became a powerhouse. Born in 1962, Michael Andretti was destined for motorsport greatness. As the son of Mario Andretti, one of the greatest racing drivers of all time, expectations were high. But Michael quickly proved that he was more than just a famous surname. He dominated the junior ranks and made his way to IndyCar, then kart, in 1983, where he would build his own legacy. Michael's first full season came in 1984, but it was in 1986 that he truly emerged as a championship contender. Driving for Krakow Racing, he won 3 races and finished second in the standings, narrowly missing out on his first championship. It was the first of many near misses. Over the next 4 years, he was runner-up in the kart championship 3 more times, in 87, 1990 and 1992, each time coming agonisingly close to the title. In 1989, Michael joined his father Mario at Newman Haas Racing, the team with which he would find his most success. And in 1991, his moment finally arrived. With 8 wins and 10 podiums, Michael clinched his first and only kart championship, proving himself as one of the best drivers of his generation. But while Michael was notching up a huge array of wins in kart, one race always eluded him, the Indianapolis 500. Time and time again, he came so close, but victory always slipped away. He led over 431 laps of the Indy 500, more than many winners, but the trophy never came. In 1991, after absolutely dominating the race, Andretti found himself in a late race duel with IndyCar legend Rick Mears. With Andretti leading with 12 laps remaining, the two exchanged daring passes, but Mears ultimately overtook Andretti on the outside of turn 1, securing the victory and relegating Andretti to a second place finish. In 1992, Andretti dominated much of the race, leading 160 laps. However, with just 11 laps to go, a fuel pump pressure caused his engine to stall, ending his race prematurely and handing the win to Al Unser Jr. And finally in 1995, after leading 45 laps in the first half of the race, Andretti's race ended abruptly on lap 77. While attempting to pass Mauricio Gugelmin, who was slowing down to pit, Andretti got into the marbles, the loose debris on the outside of the track, and brushed the wall, damaging his suspension and forcing him to retire from the race. These instances highlight the challenges and misfortunes Andretti faced at the Indy 500, underscoring the elusive nature of victory at the prestigious event and adding to the infamous Andretti curse. In 1993, Michael Andretti got his chance to race in Formula One with McLaren alongside Ayrton Senna. On paper it was a dream move, but in reality it was a disaster from the start. Unlike past American stars such as his father Mario, Michael never really got a fair shot. McLaren in 1993 was a team in transition. Honda had left, leaving them with a customer Ford engine that was significantly underpowered. On top of that, Andretti's lack of full pre-season testing and practice times at circuits, plus the European-centric McLaren team that didn't fully support him, made it nearly impossible for him to succeed. Unlike other drivers who relocated to Europe, Michael chose to commute from the US, making it harder to integrate with the team, and this has been used time and again to insinuate that Andretti's failure to succeed in F1 was of his own making. However, this excuse has never really washed with me, especially considering the flight times during the Concorde era. And then there was the issue of McLaren having 3 drivers contracted for the season: Senna, Andretti, and a young Finn, Mika Hakkinen. With Senna only committing to McLaren on a race-by-race basis at the start of the year, McLaren hired Hakkinen from Lotus as a backup in case Senna left, supposedly promising the young Finn a number of race starts. When Senna finally committed to see out the season with McLaren, and with Andretti having a difficult start to the 93 season, it became clear that Andretti no longer received Ron Dennis's full backing, and with the much cheaper and blindingly fast Mika Hakkinen waiting in the wings, by the summer of that year, it was clear that Andretti's time at McLaren and F1 was limited. Despite all the challenges, Michael still showed glimpses of his talent. In his final race at Monza, he fought from 9th to 3rd, securing his first and only podium in Formula One. But by then, it was too late. With McLaren contractually obliged to give Hakkinen a certain amount of race for 93, and Andretti's woeful season up until Monza, McLaren were convinced that he had not done enough to justify keeping him on. His Formula One career was over after just 13 races, a wasted opportunity for both him and the sport. I've always been of the opinion that if he had joined in 1994, when all the electronic aids were removed, Andretti could have truly showcased his incredible talent with a car that was more driver-orientated. Back in IndyCar, Michael immediately returned to his winning ways, proving that his talent had never been in doubt. He won in his first race back in 1994, ultimately securing more victories in the following seasons, along with another frustrating runner-up position in the championship in 1996. Regardless of his perennial bridesmaid position in kart, misfortune at Indy, and his failed attempt at Formula One, his 42 victories in kart, fifth in the all-time standings, speaks volumes. But as you all know, being a racing great isn't just about the numbers, it's what you did on the track. And his style, aggressive, bold, relentless, and blindingly quick, is why he is considered one of America's greatest drivers. As his driving career wound down, Michael turned his focus to team ownership, launching Andretti Autosport in the early 2000s. Under his leadership, the team has become a dominant force in IndyCar, Formula E, endurance racing, and others. Since 2003, Andretti Autosport have won multiple IndyCar championships and 5 Indy 500 victories, fulfilling the dream Michael never achieved as a driver. Now Michael has set his sights back on Formula One, but this time as a team owner. His bid to enter F1 with Andretti Global faced resistance from existing teams, and his pathway to being accepted has been rife with roadblocks. But despite having to step back from the project, his dream was finally fulfilled in 2024, but perhaps not in the way he'd envisaged. Michael Andretti's career is one of unfulfilled potential and ultimate redemption. He may never have won the Indy 500, never have clinched multiple championships, and never been given a fair shot in Formula One, but he never stopped pushing forward. As a driver, he was one of the fastest of his era. As a team owner, he's become one of the most influential figures in modern motorsport. He really has done it all in motor racing. So what are your thoughts about Michael Andretti? Despite all his success, was he grossly unlucky? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Racing Chronicles. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.